Hello, hi everyone. My name is Seewong, and today I just want to share with you guys a um, experience that I went through over the past weekend. It's really amazing, scary, and speechless. Okay, so I just whatever happened to me over the weekend was not expected at all, and it it's just something that I would love to share that I went through. Um, but before I do share my story, I want to read a definition of deliverance. I know you guys all know the definition of deliverance, but I just want to define that again because I feel that some of you guys may think I'm making things up or that I'm crazy, but I'm not. And for deliverance, the definition is the action of being rescued or set free. So, like prayers of deliverance. Um, so, with that being said, the title of this experience, I'm naming it The Ring. Okay. um, I know, don't, if you guys have seen the movie The Ring, then you guys know that story. But for me to name my story The Ring, it's pretty much based on the ring, that you when you get married and stuff. And I never knew, or I never thought that it would cause such a uh, big problem, you know. So I will tell what I remember. I may go back and forth. It's because I don't remember half of what happened to me at that day. I only remember some and two major events that had happened, okay? And they are like the scariest event ever. So, um, to start off again, my name is Seewong, in case if some of you guys forgot my name. um, so this past Saturday, the 29th, let me just double check here. Yes, the 29th. So it's already been about 4 days. Um, my mom and I, we went to a friend's house. We know this friend and we know her family and her the pastor and everything. We know them. They're really nice. We all used to be in one church, but because the church got really crowded with so many people, they branch off, and there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, so this weekend, my mom and I, we went to attend just a little Bible study, I would say. It was like a little Bible study section, and I just wasn't expecting anything afterwards, but before we left that Friday, or no, I'm sorry, yeah, it was that Friday morning. My mom called me and she was just telling me to get ready on Saturday and she was gonna come and pick me up and we're gonna go. So at first I said yes, and then later I said no. And she was just questioning me, like, why do I not want to go? And I was just like, I don't know, I just didn't want to go. And then, she just kept telling me to go. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. So on Saturday, after, Friday evening, I picked up my car from the shop and I told him, I was like, okay, I will go. So that Saturday morning on the 29th of October, I kept hearing a voice telling me the ring. And I was like, the ring. And it just kept saying the ring, the rain, the rain. And I was like, okay, what about it? It just didn't it didn't click me right away to know what it was. So I just kind of like shrugged it off, like, okay, whatever. So that Saturday morning, went to my mom's house, and then we left from there to the friend's house. We were there and we were just enjoying, just catching up and see how everyone's doing. It's been so long. I've been in and out of Georgia, so just to come back and see everyone again, and saying hi, catching up, how's life, and meeting a friend. It was just like amazing, just catching up. And then after we had lunch, we went downstairs to the house, and we just went and have like prayers, and we were just talking about God, Jesus, where are we in our spiritual walk, and what is it that Jesus is telling us to do in our next step. And we're just talking, and then we branch off into like small groups and just talk and share a bit about what Jesus has been doing in our life, and just kind of something small like that. And so after that, this we were done like around 3, I think almost 4. And I was just, calling my mom like, "Hey, mom, we're done." She had to leave me there because she had to go pick up my sister from work. So, my mom was like, "Okay, I'll be there, later." So I was just like, "Okay." So I just kind of sat around, and then after this friend, I'm sorry, I won't mention any of their names, okay? So this friend, after she was done talking to this other friend, and then she came in and just talked to me, and she's like, "Okay, we just want to have a talk with you, and just kind of see where you are in your walk with God and your faith." So I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Like, I was just like, "Okay, that's all right. I don't mind sharing. I love to share and share more of what God's been doing with my life for almost a year here in Georgia, and not almost a year, but it's already been a year, a year here in Georgia." So we were just sitting and talking, and so this friend, she was just explaining to me about breaking the vows with the devil, and so just talking a little bit about deliverance and stuff. I never gone through any like that, so I don't even know what deliverance was until that day. And that's when I understood what it means. So with that being said, we just sat down, and then she was just like, "Okay, Nasifu is going to record, in writing, the session, anything that you say, and the action, and my uh, sister here, she's here to help and to watch, and I'm here to do the deliverance." So I was just like, "Okay," like I was like, "Okay, that sounds okay." So to me, I just thought that it was like in prayer, like we were gonna pray and that was it. And she was just telling me like, "Okay, if anything pops from your head, just say it, okay? Just say it, just don't hold back and stuff." So I was just like, "Okay," like I'm still thinking that we're praying, and she was like, "Okay, you can close your eyes, or you can open your eyes." And as she was talking, my heart started to pound really, really hard and started to get fast. And two names already popped up, and we haven't even started yet. And she was still explaining to me what deliverance was and what's gonna happen. And I was just like, okay. So as I closed my eyes and she was just talking, and all of a sudden when she said my name, like, how am I feeling? And I said, my heart is beating really fast, like really, really fast. And then she's like, okay, they're here. Let's begin. But I was still kind of like, what? And then I could feel, when you pray, you have your head down. And when I had my head down, all of a sudden my head just started to like lift. It just started to like go up, like all the way here. And when my friend, or the friend, when she asked, is anyone here, the name popped up right away. And I won't tell you guys the name because I just don't feel that I should mention these names anymore. But the first name popped up, and he was just really sad and angry with me because I have removed him and his family away from their homes. And when asked how, it was when I used a crystal egg to remove him and his family from their home in Eau Claire. And it was the home of my auntie. And right then, like, I just felt like I wasn't myself anymore, because when she summoned him, my eyes just like rolled back. My eye just rolled back, and everything was just like dark. And I was just back in the home. I could see the home. I could see where they are. And I was just, that spirit was just speaking through me, and saying, and, so they summoned him, and then they cast him, and they said that you can go, God will lead you home. You don't need to be with her. And so he left, and then him and his wife left, and then they asked if there's anyone else, and there was another one, and that one was just a lingering spirit that was just out in the streets, and he decided to just follow me to visit the home and see how powerful this friend was. So they cast him out, and then there was a third one that came, and the third one, was a lingering spirit around my area where I live. And she was just like, oh no, we can't enter her home. It's just, we see that she was coming, and we just kind of come, and since you asked, then we're just here. I'm just here, and the rest is at home, So they cast her away. And then she asked, do I see a light? And I said, yes. And I said, yes, I see a light. And she said, okay, where are you? And I was like, I'm in my home. I'm in my home. I have the lamp on. Everything looks like I felt at peace. But all of a sudden, everything went dark again. All of a sudden, I saw darkness around me. And she felt it. She's like, no, there's more. There is more. And who is this spirit that is coming? And then, I was just like, there was pretty much no answer. So she's like, okay, let me take you back to the lake. So when the friend said that, I felt like my mind just rewinded. It rewinded to when we went to the not the women's retreats, and then all the way back to Eau Claire. Everything just rewinded, and that was when I saw the Doja. Okay, the Doja is a dragon prince that comes that sense lingering love from women, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure how to explain that, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean when I say itu doja. Okay, lashi itu ja klama achinana, right? So they took me back to the lake, and I was just standing there at the lake, and he appeared to me, and they were just asking question, and he answered like, I'm here. And they're like, okay, Seewong, they were asking like, Seewong, what's his name? And I was like, I don't know, I never knew his name. I don't I never knew his name. He never told me his name. So like my eyes was just closed, like I couldn't open my eyes at all. And I was there, and they asked him what's his name, and he said he will not give his name. He's not giving his name, and that he doesn't have a name. And the friend was like, no, you have a name. What's your name? And then the name popped in my head, and I was just like, whoa, like I never knew Tu Dojano has a name. And like I said, I won't mention any of the names in my story here. So they were just asking like why he did what he did to me at that day at the lake, and what was his motive. And he just replied that she wanted to be loved, and she was asking me for it in return for and they were just talking. The friend was just talking to him, and that's when it's just him in me talking to her, and then myself talking to her. So it was like, when they summon the spirit, you don't know who you are anymore, because that spirit is using your mouth to talk to them, your voice. So I was then telling them that he's really angry now, and half his body was like the body of a serpent, and he was just there on the water. And then I was like, he's really mad because I won't go with him. And then I saw Jesus. He was just standing right in front of me in the water, reaching out to me like, hey, come to me, don't go over there. But a part of me was like, I really want to be with him. I really want to go with him, because he has taken me to places that no one can't take me. He has shown me the love that no men on earth can show me. He was like the sweetest guy ever, that no men on earth can't give that to me. And so I can hear Nasifu and her sister-in-law, they were just shouting at my name, telling me, do not go, turn to Jesus, grab Jesus' hand. And I was like, I don't really want to, and I was like, he's really mad at me. Like he's, and then all of a sudden, like right when I took hold of Jesus' hand, and I said, he's really, really angry. He has two horns. And they're like, see, now he's showing his true identity to you. Now he's showing his true self. And when I saw him, his face completely changed. He has two horns and he has wings. And he was just really angry. Really, really angry that I wouldn't go with him. And then I said to him that, you go. see, with the whole session is like Hmong English, Hmong and English. It was crazy how how these demons, they can like, you know, speak in Hmong and English, Hmong and English. So, anyways, but I was just telling him, and I said, for him to go and find his soulmate, for him to go and find the one that he wants to be with, the one that will love him. And I was just telling him that between me and him, I don't want to be with him anymore. I have God, I have Jesus. I'm going home with Jesus. I don't want to be with you. He got really angry, and I was just telling Nasifuda, I was like, he's really angry, and he is pointing at me, telling me that this battle is not over. So right when he said this battle is not over, he left. And after he left, I was back in my home. I was back in my home. It was bright. And all of a sudden it was dark again. And I was just telling them, I was like, oh my gosh, it's dark again. And that's when they're like, okay, there is more. So when they summoned these other ones, they were just like the little ones. And the first one that came was sadness. And with sadness, like, sadness was just so sad. And when sadness appeared, I just started crying. I cried, and I just cried, and they're like, just let it all out. And I laid it all out, and God was just there. God was like, let it all out, tell it all. And I even told him, I was like, I see Jesus. Jesus is for me to tell it all. But sadness says, I will only tell you the major ones, the major sadness in her life, that she's really sad. And so sadness was just telling everything from when I was in California. My daughter and I, we were out on the streets, and no one was there to know or see the suffering that my daughter and I, we went through in California. And about, my daughter, her dad, and the words that he had said, that my child, me having his kid, is not like his girlfriend having his kid. And then it just jumped to like my second ex-husband. For him, the reason why he married me, and he didn't even love me, he didn't even care for me. And he just wanted me there to have kids. And when I can't have kids, he just throws me away because he got his wife pregnant, his girlfriend at that time pregnant, who's now his wife, And then from there, Sadness was just talking about the love that she was not receiving from, her mom. And then it went on to talking about my ex-boyfriend that I currently broke off for 1 year now, that, she's just so sad that dating him for 5 years, and he did not want to marry her, and left her, and cheated on her. And so Sadness was just crying and telling all the major things, and she was crying so bad. And they told her that Jesus will heal you. You have to go. You have to leave. You cannot make her sad like this forever, for the rest of her life. And then, so she left. And then they said, who else is with you? And right when, after Sadness, and right when I said angry, right when I said that, my tears stopped, and my face changed, my tone changed, and I became really angry. And they're like, okay, what are you angry about? Do you see Jesus? And she was like, yeah, Jesus is here. Jesus says for me to tell it all. And then he was like, I'm only going to tell the major things. Because with sadness jumped around, from my family in Oshkosh to my siblings, to the things that they have said to me. And, to my other family in Eau Claire, the things that they have said to me. And so when angry appeared, angry was really angry. My emotion changed, my face expression changed, my tone of voice changed, and I was just so angry. And they're like, okay, what is Jesus telling you? And I said, Jesus said for me to tell it all. And when I was telling, it was pretty much similar to sadness. And they're like, well, we already told sadness. And Jesus is already cleansing her. And angry was just like, you wanted to know. So I'm telling you what you want to know. I'm telling you what is it that's making me really angry. And I just and when angry spoke, angry was just so angry at everything. And all angry thought was just revenge and wanting the world to know what happened to her, and wanting those people to take their fault, take their blame. And angry was just so angry. And they said, you have to let it go. You cannot hold on to this anger and have her suffer this anger for the rest of her life. You have to let it go. Give it to Jesus. So anger was just like, no. Because on that, when anger appeared, they only pinpoint the event in my life that has got me so angry all these years. And angry was just so angry at this guy that had raped me when I was 16. And angry, just like every time I see him at church, I get so angry. I just wanted to hurt him. I just want him to confront what he has done for me, what he has done to me. And Nasifu, they're like, let it go. Let God take care of him. And so angry, like, prayed to God and told God that, hey, all right, I will let you take care of this guy. Let you make him know what he had done to me. And then after that, angry went on to about the ex-boyfriend again. And she was just so angry again. And, they were just like, you have to let it go. He has already moved on with his life. You cannot keep that anger with you. And so again, anger prayed. And then they summoned love. And love came, and love's tone of voice was soft, sweet, innocent. And they asked about love's purpose. And love's purpose was to just make her feel loved. So love was saying, I'm here to make her feel loved. She wanted to feel loved. Like, I can't make the tone now, but because at that moment, it wasn't me anymore. And so they asked, okay, how are you making her feel love? Excuse me. And they said, a man. They said, what man? The name popped up, and I knew who it was. And the name popped up, and it says, Adam. And they're like, what about this Adam? And love was just like, I'm using him. I'm using him to get at her because she wants love. She wants to be loved. And I'm going to use this man to love her, to shower her, to show her how much she is needed and how much she is loved, because that's what she wants. And Nasifu, they're saying that's not the kind of love for you to use someone like that to get to her. And love was just like, no, I'm going to keep using this man to give her the love that she wants. And they, Nasifu, they're saying, no, you have to leave. You cannot come into her life and use this man to love her. You have no rights, no authority to be in her life. Jesus is her love. Jesus loves her. And for you, you have to get out. You cannot use this man to love her. So, after love left, I was just sitting there and, they were summoning all of these spirits, and so many of them came into place. There was others, but I forgot. Adultery came into place. Lust came into place. Mute. And when mute came, I just couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. It's like, it doesn't matter how much I want to move my mouth won't move. And so they cast those out. And this is where it gets really intense. When they were talking to lust and adultery, and their tone of voice was just like cocky. They're just cocky, and they're just like, oh yeah, we made her watch all these stuff. We want her to. She wanted to. This is how she feels like she's being loved. And after that, when they cast adultery and lust out, and they ask, who else is present? And right when they said that, my neck starts to turn to the right. My neck started to bend. Like, when you crack your neck, it's just like this, right? But right when the name Satan came out, my neck starts to bend all the way to my shoulder. It started to bend all the way. And I'm still sitting in the straight posture, and my neck was just all the way. And then right when I felt the pain, I just shout, he's hurting me. That's when they got up, and they were trying to push my head, and Satan was just torturing me at that time. He just kept pressing, push my neck all the way down, and I was fighting, and I was crying, and I was just shouting, and I couldn't say anything, and they, Nasifu and them, they were trying to, Nasifu was on my left side, pushing and pulling my head, and, the friend was on my right side, like pushing my head up. And they couldn't, because that was how powerful Satan was when he was pushing my neck. And I could feel my neck here. It was like about to break. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like my neck was about to break off. And my neck just came all the way down to my shoulder. Like all the way. And I was just crying in agony. And I just, and that's when I heard a voices shout and say, let go. And then when I was finally able to open my mouth and shout and say, let go. And I just moved him like this. Like, with your finger, and then I fell back, and I was just gone. And all of a sudden, I was back at the scene of the car accident that I had back in 2010. And I remember Natsifuda, they were trying to wake me up. And they were telling me to get up. And I was like, I can't. And I said, please call my soul back. Please call me home. I want to come home. I am here at the car accident. I am stuck here. My spirit is still here. And I told him, I said, I'm at heaven's gate right now. And I'm telling God that I'm so sorry. I'm going to hell and I won't get to be with God. And I can hear them saying, like, you're not going to hell, Seewong. Come back home. And God was telling me, like, it's not your time to come home yet. You have to go. Go back. You know, and then I say food and they're like, come home. And during that time, like, you know, the voice was just coming out from my mouth, and they lift me back up. And when they lift me back up and they continue, like, I still couldn't open my eyes. And as they continued, you know, the rest from there, that's when I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember what other demons that they had summoned out. I don't remember anything anymore. Like, as much as I try to right now, I don't remember what happened after that. But the second time I mentioned Satan's name, this time my neck went up. It starts to turn up, and then it turned. So it went up and then turned like that. And again, Satan was just like, you know, crushing my neck. And then my body started to shake. And they were like, we have cast you out already, Satan. Why are you still here? And then all of a sudden, I was back in my home in Eau Claire, my apartment in Eau Claire, and I was tied to the door, and there was a hand that was just holding my face, looking at the shrine, the altar that I have built. And all of a sudden, Satan just started laughing and saying, you cannot get rid of her. You cannot get rid of me. She belongs to me. She is mine. And Satan was just like, you see that? You see the shrine that you built for me? You see all this that you have praised me? You worship me? You bow down to me? You are mine. And then all of a sudden, like, my neck just started to twist and turn, and then my whole body shook. And Satan just said, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to break her neck. I'm going to take her then, because she is mine. She built a shrine. She built an altar. She worshiped me. She praised me. And I myself, all I could see was my hand was just tied back, and a hand was just like holding my face, looking at the shrine that I have built when I was back in Eau Claire, when I was dating my ex-boyfriend. And they and Nasifu, they're like, that was in the past. She doesn't belong to you now. She is a child of God. She belongs to Jesus. And Satan was like, no. And Satan was just laughing. And when he took control of my body, he just started laughing. And my whole body started shaking. Really bad. And they had to go have another woman to help. Because Satan was so ready to take me away. Like, he had turned my neck up and then twisted to the right, and then he twisted back to the left, and then he, you know, he was just, my whole body was just shaking. He had my my legs started to lift, my arm was just all shaking, my whole entire body was shaking, and my neck was hurting so bad. And that's when they're like, you cannot break me and her, because she has something that ties me to her. And they ask, what is it that she has? And that's when Satan said, the ring. She has the ring that ties me to her. And right then I can hear them calling my mom and telling my mom to go get the ring. And they ask, where is the ring? Satan said it's in her home. They ask, where in her home? Like in her drawer where she puts all her makeup. And Satan just started laughing like, you guys cannot go and get it. You guys will never find it. And they're like, not seafood, they said, we will find it. And Satan was just laughing at them. And Satan was just like, no, I'm going to break her. I'm going to kill her right now. I'm taking her. And as he says that, he continued to twist my neck and continue to hurt my body. And my body was just shaking. And my neck was just like all twisted and in every different angle. And it was just like being, and I was screaming, and they were like, "Seewong, just go to Jesus." And I was like, I can't. Like, he has me all tied up. And Satan was just laughing and laughing at them and saying, I'm taking her away right now. I'm going to break her. And then right when he pulled one last straw off my neck, I just fell back. I fell back and my whole body just started twitching, started hurting, and I was just in pain, in agony. And Satan was like, if you really want her to get away from me and you want me to get away from her, if you really want to break this bond, she has to get rid of me herself. She has to give that ring to you guys herself. And they said, okay, we will do that. You leave her now. And right when they said that, my eye starts to roll forward again. And when my eye rolled forward, I saw light. And that's when I knew that I'm free. That's when I knew that I'm back. And I was able to open my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I was just so exhausted. I was so tired. I was just so relieved that this is over. That it is done for the day. And, they just said, okay, you are free. You are no longer bound to Satan. You are no longer tied to him. You are free. And right when they said that, I felt like I was a new person. I just don't remember anything that had happened. Anything in my past life, I don't remember. Anything that had happened between me and my exes are vivid now. It's like when you turn on a TV and you turn it off. And I just couldn't remember anymore. And they're like, you are new. For now on, live your life new and stop living in the past. Don't bring up the past. Don't mention their names in the past into the present. Live your life new with God. You are now free. And so after that, we came to my home and came back here, and I was looking for the ring for them, and I gave them, there was a ring. And I just forgot that it was not the ring, but I gave it to them. And when they were casting all the demon out, we were praying, and then God said to me, you gave them the wrong ring. Right then I woke up and I was like, oh, I gave you guys the wrong ring. So I went back and I looked for the ring and I couldn't find the ring anymore. I was like, I know I put it here. I know I put it in here. I looked and looked and I couldn't find it anymore. It was just gone. And then, Nasifu then pray and say, God, let her find that ring. That ring needs to go. And then right when I lift up my stuff, the same spot, I felt the ring fell. Like it fell right in front of me. And I was just like, I just looked here and it wasn't here. But right after Nasifu and pray, the ring just like fell right in front of me. And so I grabbed it and I was like, it is that ring. So I gave it to them and I said, and they asked like, is this the ring? And I was like, yes, this is the ring. Because I remember specifically what he said to me. And he said to me, he bought me this ring because it's two hearts that are connected together. And he said, one heart is his, one heart is mine. And since it's connected, it's like you and I, we are connected together forever. And so I get in the ring, we pray some more. They summoned that demon out. And they took that ring to throw it away. And from that night on, I never, as we were driving home to my parents' house, I was just thinking like, I never knew that little ring could cause so much spiritual damage to myself. And so after that session, I was just so tired. I was exhausted. I didn't feel good. I just felt like vomiting, but I couldn't. And my mom bought me some McDonald's to eat to just kind of help build my energy, but I just couldn't eat. Until I got home to my parents' home and I smelled the smell of popcorn. And right when I smelled that, a gas of air just like lifted, like just came out from my body to my mouth. And I was just like, oh my gosh, now I gotta go puke. So I ran to the bathroom and I puked everything out. And then I heard a voice that, let the devil out. And I just like puke everything out. And right after that, I felt much better. I felt relieved. I feel like I can rest. But I was just so exhausted from the experience, the deliverance that had happened. I just felt really tired, And then I tried to eat, and I ate, and I, drank some Sprite to just kind of build up my energy again. And that Sunday morning, I realized that my right ear doesn't itch anymore. Because it has been itchy for a year and a half. And that's when I realized that it doesn't itch anymore. It felt much better now. I don't have to always scratch it, pull on it. And everything was just, I just felt much better. And then that Monday morning, God was just telling me, like, get rid of anybody. Get rid of anyone on your Facebook list that you don't need to get in contact with them. That does not need to be, that you don't need to be around with. So that's what I did. I went and I deleted like so many people off that I don't need to be in contact with them. Or that is a family or related to my ex-boyfriend, or just random people that I don't know and they're just kind of there. I just want to clear everything out. And so Monday, I just thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, I never knew that ring would cause so much spiritual damage to myself. That one little thing. And then when I think back to that Saturday morning when I kept hearing a voice saying the ring, it just kept repeating, and that all makes sense. It was that thing that had me attached And for me to break it off, I have to throw that piece of ring away. And so this is only the beginning of my deliverance. I am still battling spiritually. I'm still trying to recover from it spiritually. And it's going to take a while. So if that is my testimony of what had happened to me over the weekend, like I was not expecting this kind of experience. I've heard it. I heard stories, seen it in movies, scary movies, horror movies. I never imagined that it would be me, because I thought that I was always fine. But from that day on, yeah, it just completely changed me. And how my faith in God should be. And that I have to work harder. So that is it that I just wanted to tell and share. And if I don't talk to people much anymore, please understand that I'm trying to work on myself. Please understand that I'm still going through a spiritual battle. Just because the deliverance section is over, it doesn't mean that it's completely over. It's a beginning of a new life, a new step, a new battle for me to go, for me to take. So if some days I just been really silent, it's just that I'm working on myself, my spiritual walk. And certain days, if I'm really talkative with you, and it's because I just want to share what God has done to my life. Just want to share how much love God has given to me, have shown to me through friends and families. So that is all that I have. That is all that I want to share. If you guys have any questions, you guys can definitely comment below. And when I find another time, I can answer your questions in a different video. So, yeah. And there are names that was said, and there's some names that was not being said. If I avoid you, it's because it's a test that I'm still being tested. And like I said, if I talk to you, just know that it'll just be short talks. And if I don't talk to you, just know that I'm avoiding anything that Satan can draw me back down or pull me back down. Okay? So, just to let you guys know, and so that you guys understand what had happened over the weekend. So, all right, well, thank you so much for listening, or watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message or comment below, and I will answer to the best that I can in a different video. But if you leave jokes or hatred notes, those will be deleted, and I will not answer those questions to anyone who takes this as a joke. So yes, thank you again for your time and patient listening, and listening to this testimony that I have gone through. And I just pray that God bless you all, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, okay? Bye.